Is day 1337, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Should be as close for Am Yisrael and our Sora. Today we're doing, of course, your Dea Sivin Reish Aleph, Sif Kuf Ayin Beis, to Kuf Ayin Tes. Kuf Ayin Beis. V'hosif, Od Lomar V'zel L'shoino. And this is, I think it's the tour speaking. There's only ultimate milk which is not coming from a spring. If it's coming from a spring, we don't care if it's flowing, if it's not stationary. Akal Shona, end quote. Main position Rabuso, there's no chiddush in this. Do we not know till now that a spring is kosher even the water is moving? And the mikvah which is drawn from and connected to a spring is like a spring. Kosher the kamasha, so it's written that it's coming to tell us that even if the flow from the spring to the mikveh has stopped, then mikveh mayon that the mikveh no longer has the status of mayon mikoma as we say times kosher b'zaychlin. Nevertheless, it's kosher by even if it's moving. It's the marik which brought down the shach. Dvarim elu. The shach rejects this. The vade menifsak hamayin possible b'zaychlin. It's only if the spring is stopped, then moving water is no good. The Krakasal who says Sim Masif Nugima Ayin Chum. Already wrote this. Yeshu showed some of those ones they come also below Sakamayan. We'll tell you about where the spring did not get interrupted. Kanashan the Av Makam Mikva Makunas and as place. So tell us that even where the places the Mukva is gathered, then it's not doesn't possible if it's moving. That's also a shock. Timiani is astonished, says Arukh HaShulchan. You also know this. So therefore it says talk about where the mayon ceased flowing into the spring. The spring ceased flowing into the mikvah. Kamash is going to tell us the beschila kihai zlaschila gemuru el kishvicha ba'alma. I guess so. It's interesting. The water of the mayon stopped, but there's still water flowing from the mayon which has not been stopped. Like you dammed it up, and there's still water flowing which originated in the mayon. So. So just pouring in, that's not a problem, even though the spring has been cut off. Seems to be the case in the mikvah. The water is not called zochlin unless it goes back to the mikvah. But let's say do not go back to the mikvah. But a little bit comes out and goes back. It's not called zochlin. And called pashatu. Because the Piskei Chu brings down something Tamu and they have milk tzedakah. What it is, we don't know. Kain Sakos Rabbeinu Beisev Sifnun Aleph. Zoshono Beisev wrote something similar. Nikrev HaMikveh Umeim Notrin Ma'at. And the mikveh has a hole and its water is dripping out slowly. And even though Karkamad Ma'at or absorbed in the ground slowly. Kosher. Okay? Fisha ain't schilas and cares because you can't recognize the fact that they're moving. Akal Shono. Come on, the people so mikveh schila said gadol. The drops are not called zochlin, only a big crack. Where the water comes out and it's flowing. Also that the water does not go back from to whence it came. Then that's considered to be zochlin. Kufan Gimel. If you come to close the crack, don't close with your hand. Don't stick your finger in the dike. Now so perkei the chol davar makabel tuma. Ein maschilim bo. Anything which is makabel tuma. Ein maschilim bo. Perush around to ein mamid maschilim bo. Means you can't stop the flow with it. The havayas and mikvah vayina de tara, just like the creation of mikvah has to be through tara k'mochem psul zochlin. By mikvah, the psul of zochlin, the mikvah gankin tzvech the tara has to be prevented by tara as well. The Rosh disagrees. You are allowed to stop the flow with something which is makabel tuma. Perusha de maschilimbo, and the pshat in a maschilimbo have a last son zochlin shetzorich means to make them flow when it's necessary to make them flow. With the Rambam says the same thing. Talmud Bill, so he says the Ba'adai have also mind the mikvah tzorch she'edei tara. Certainly, when you bring the water into the mikvah, it has to be through tara. Yes, I shlo tumin. I ain't tzorch tara lezeh. But to prevent the water from leaving edei tara, that's not necessary. ולפיכך נכב עשוי להוציא בו המים מהמקווה יכולים לסוסמו במטלוניות שיש להם שלושה וכמה טומאה. Therefore, you could stop up the drainage in the mikvah by using a rag, which is 3 by 3 tvachim, even though it's 3 by 3 both. No, 3 by 3 tvachim by a rag, even though they're makabel tuma. Kufay dalet. Shona chachamim mishlo zayin perak vod mikvos. Here mikvos kishveres hanod. To connect mikvos, you need kishveres hanod. Like its thickness and like its cavity. Come on like 2 fingers, like we said, the whole simon, which go around. If you don't know if that you have that size, now it's possible. They should make because the deraisa in Sham. In other words, you can't connect the mikvah which is lacking 40 saw next to the mikvah which has 40 saw. Or 2 mikvahs you don't have 40 saw. You want to connect them. To connect the water through a furrow or through a hole. The space within the hole or within the furrow has to be god shvers node, has to be that size of shvers node. Find a connection node. This is a tube they put at the opening of a jug, which is the thickness of the tube and its hollow space. It's like the shear of the 2 fingers immediately adjacent to the thumb. It's the thicker finger and the shorter finger. The index finger and the middle finger. They should be able to turn over easily with ample room within the hole of within the space of the hole. That's language of meaning that it's ample room. Because if it's not ample, it's hard to turn your fingers from side to side. Can't move on, is obvious. Is the primary which we find in the Gemara and in the poskim. Great question. But enforcing the maim all over shas, water which is moist enough that the moisture comes off on your hand. If you tap your hand or anything else on it, that's going to be a connection. Below being a controversy note. Why here in each verse a note? So some rabbis answered the neck of a hole needs a note. Of a maim. But water, in other words, the hole has to be inside. But the water inside doesn't have to be filled as first note. It can just be tofech menaslat piach. That's Rabbeinu Tam and the Rash. This answer is not accepted. Lamashkin doesn't sound like that. It sounds like the whole hole has to be full of water. Some rabbis answer it's only in terms of Tuma and Tara. There's moist enough to moisten something else. To connect ain't note. No less than Shvers. Over Tumahu she tadma. Tumahu she tma mizeh mitovach lat piach. Tuma is when something comes to something else and the moisture connects it. Tarolina shokatas in terms of joining something beverages to the mikveh in order to purify them. It's not so clear from the Mishnah at the end of the 8th paragraph. In terms of washing, it's also connection. That's why it tells you that I might be going up by mikvah, no less than that tube. That's Rash and places. So that's a Rambam Ganki Kemuchim Midvar B'Yeshav Lachos Elu. Seems this is the opinion of Rambam as well. The Rashi is up here Shom Le Mikvos. I ain't Shom Tzerchin Rashi. There's no Mecham Nasal Nidbach who is from Mikvos. That's very difficult. In the brackets he says Yevadiv Rashi Shom and Yavamas Tezvav. The first Rashi was in Getting Tezain. Nearly the Svirle, it seems that he holds a Mikra Chaser beside Mikra Shalim. Yeah, Mikra which is less than 40 saw. Next to Mikra which is 40 saw, Tzarkar Shveres and no requires to have a Shveres. I know two. Avok Shekah Achas aim book a shear, but each one, neither of them has a shear. Going to Shneim Tichel Zil Zil, such that each one needs the other. Dai betofech like piach. It's enough to have that moisture, which just seems very difficult. Mishnah there mikvos yifar shemikra chaser tzad shlema. Mishnah requires from first node in Parak Vav Mishnah Zayin of mikvos. That will be in terms of when you have a missing mikvah next to a whole mikvah. Kemucha mi Mishnah shachel comes after the next Mishnah. Shemitar yolim min atachton. You retire the upper mikvah from the lower mikvah. Chem reish pir kin sham. And so it's in the middle, later on, at the beginning of the parak there. Ukasam ba'ora. It's a hole in the cave, Ayin Sham. Mishnah test, koisish ben sheichim mikvos, the whole wall between two mikvos. Farish Gankin and Rashi will explain that. Shachas chasir b'achas mei, one is missing, one is home. Gam Yisrael mechayu you test, now if Ayin Sham yes that Yashi, that's Rashi. Can you say Yashi, that's Rashi? Oh, he's saying that's an answers Rashi. That the difference is chasera b'tzad shlema is requires first a node, not when both are chaser. Okay. Miladina kama karam batur shulchan the b'chol makom b'mikvah tzarich shvers node. You always require shvers node by mikvah v'duk. Kuvayin vav. I'm not question too, but it's very difficult. Mishnah chesperek vav mitaring is a mikvah yomin atachton. By the upper mikvah and lower mikvah chulei mevis, you only bring a jet to moshcho, and you draw it to meshiko, and you touch the waters. I feel like a Sarah, even a hairbreadth. It's enough. Ayin Sham. First, the Ksara v'chibur says that a hairbreadth is a connection. Tirtzai ben Shimshon lo Ire ben mikvah chaser shlema. It's not talking about a mikvah which is lacking in water, but it's complete. Mayim meshuvim. I'm talking about vis-a-vis drawn water. The absolute midrabanan. The psul is the rabbanon, and therefore, therefore it's enough to have a hairbreadth of a connection. I have a chaser, but a mikvah which is missing, the psul who minatayah, the psul is midaraisa, so dafka shves or no, you need specific shves or no. Chenkos have a rash, but so to a bay sign shop. Pietru says there basically says chaser. I mean, it says gima bolach shir mikvah shahuv mikvah shalem shein if you want to purify. It's make suitable for toiveling. A mikvah which is completely made up of drawn water, which is adjacent to mikvah, which is rainwater. Aval yishenu mashiko el kashir kasara kosher. Even if you only connect them the size of a hairbreadth, it's kosher. And even if the water which connects them is beneath the surface. Ben Ramah writes that it's only by the psul of drawn water, which is the rabbanon. Psul the rice, which is the rice, it's not the shear. So no, you need no commotion in his bar, as has been clarified. And even by the psul of drawn water, some people argue here you can say you also need shver sanod. Can't really notice it's the proper way to paskin. I can't show the gam shua basel min Torah. Those other Mayim Shuman are also possibly the rice and not just the Rabbanic, which I love, Sif Yud Beis, so I am a Sif Kuf Be'al. Kuf Ayin Zayin. Avo Multa but it's very astonishing. The King was saying this village, the Shuva, possibly in Torah, they have rabbis all that Shuva is possibly rice. Kamosh Kosav Sham. Zel Dasa Rashbam, but the Rashbam Rabbeinu Tam. The Rashbam Rabbeinu Tam all that way. Basa Samach Vav. Ve'echi Farshim Mishazu. How can you explain this Mishnah? It's more astonishing. Rabbeinu Shimshon Batzmo. So the guy can't Kamosh Kosav Nusham. He also adds that Kamosh Kosav Sham, as is written there. But certainly I have to say the Maya Beruv Sharon, where most of the mikvos, most of the water, it's kosher, Yutam Sulim, and a minority. It's possible Chaygavna, Shvil Rabbeinu Shimshon, to have a Rabban. It's a Rabban. Must have the Shom. If I should mention my Chaygavna, I'm just talking about such case. So the Ram Perachestin Zayin Kotzer Mishnah Zu. It brings on to Mishnah Much Le'edia Da Kol Psulim Kai. It's going all Psulim. The B'chol Perach Shom Ma'ir Chasera. I Perach this about a mikvah which is short. where it's a the rights issue. Because it's time to vote, so you have to start a dial. But there's always enough. I ain't chunk. To me, I would say about Shon Rab Marshim Shlo you Bezek Klum, him to discuss on the sheet at all. I could say him got right? Okay, now this is required. It says bracket the web. Vefshel if imash she's born, receive kup payav. I see shop every duk. Oh, stay tuned. Maybe we'll get to something which will resolve the issue for us. Kufayin ches. Armedam midikul asher Rambam Shom near the Teutzacher. From the inference of the Rambam's Lashon, the implication of Rambam's Lashon language there, it seems it could say another thing. Shkasa is Lashon wrote as follows: the field kasar dial, even here, but is enough. But Hashem mikvos shasil benam, the two mikvos for the jet has been true of them. Kvika echad like one mikvah akal shonim. V'yeshlam is almost deep bezeh masha eino mevor bash mishnah. Why is he saying which is not in the mishnah there? V'niyah is daiti kavanasli Hashem bakushin l'shlam alidei sil adit fei. So I think it says the ocean is coming to explain why when you connect them through a tube it's better. He's doing a big meisel and near silon to put down this tube to connect them together. But also in the tube there's a lot of water. And there the connection is sufficiently made, like in Tumatara, where you have to moisture which can make someone else smack. Zel Kasaira. This is the size of a hairbreadth. So hairbreadth also has enough to make your hand wet. I can't move on, as is well understood. And the bracket says, "Ayin Rasham because lo mistaber shizo chad shur ayin sham." He says it doesn't seem like it's one shear, the shear of Tabach Masat Piach, and the shear of Kisara. I don't know why. Says Arukh HaShulchan. If he's the Omer, as I say, and he was daiti according to my opinion, the Gam Shuba Eitzel Einu Shuba by drawn mikvah by non-drawn mikvah. Tzarich Shus Ves and Oinish Ves and Note. Nedas Rambam even according to being Rambam. Feel mute Shuba in minority is drawn. Chemash Lesh Rabbeinu Ramah. Shkasa Yesh Chen Shos. This is where you should basket. Masha Abedievid even B'dievid you have to basket this way. That's no good. You should go to those who say that the Rubik Sherim. When the majority is kosher, l'chlei alma lo sagi, l'chlei alma sagi b'sar. Their hairbreadth is for sure enough. That's a shach and years 19 years kamosh kasavna that you should always have shofar sanod. Kufayin test. Visa abola or mikvah pasal mikvah kosher akshir apostle. You try and mix together a kosher mikvah with a pasal mikvah to make the pasal one kosher. Or mikvah chasser mikvah mali or a mikvah which is lacking water with a mikvah which is full of water. Or shen chasser or two both of them are lacking. Vola avram akshira. And you come to mix it together in order to make a kosher. Toshi and nekev first a night. You got to be first a night. We're going to kill a chamayim yemelo nekev and the flow of water has to fill up that hole. Shemar chaser in Mali when you linking together mikvah which is missing some chaser in the shear or Mali in Mali start with the one that has the shear or shen chaser both of them chaser. So shom yesh nekev ken amayim same thing. So immediately when the water recedes from the shira note, certainly if the hole is closed up, pesula nifsala becomes possible. But if you mix rainwater with drawn water, even for a moment, nishar lo olam bechsher remains kosher forever. Even though it was closed afterwards. It became shushku once they've been drawn together. Nasuk shein the kosher can make sure make call as they were originally rainwater. Kasva to shon rav sim in base the kosher amokish first night. Remato. Anything which stands, the first note diminishes it. I feel that should be brias hamayim. I guess something which stands in that hole diminishes the size, even something which is from water. Meaning, neck of something is in the hole, but stop it up. Might and neck diminishes the size of the hole. And a question, even something which is made from water, so to speak, diminishes it. It's not clear. They can't kind of there's a table of things which are created by the water. Must have seen with kuf nun. This is mibrias hamayim. It's a water creature. How can it diminish the size of the hole? But those say the bemis ain't no ma'aseh. But it doesn't diminish the size of the hole. The mishnah sovereign might use barganke dein tovim bo. But he holds that it does diminish it. will also hold that you don't toivel in it, not like we said previously. That this is yontif and it's a shach shlo. Mein shach, he says to tovach nechila gam b'marav shumim nista manekev shozi machlat chila by shoferes hanod. That's it for today.